Uncensored, no holds barred talk. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is Global Reality Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live edition of the Global Reality right here on the Global Reality Radio Network. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. Thanks for being with us tonight for another late night Moonbat edition of the broadcast. It is now Thursday, December the 22nd, into Friday, December the 23rd. Late night, early morning, however you want to look at it. Boy, we went fucking Moonbatty early last night, didn't we? Well, yeah. I think John Doe was the last man standing last night. I have a tendency to do that sometimes. I am going to do my best. It's tough, man. I'm in an adjustment period right now. Because I fucked myself up making this movie because I was, I'd work on these stretches, I'd work like 23 hours straight or something, and then I'd crash at like 3 in the afternoon and sleep till like 8, and that's the start of my day. So I'm readjusting to that, and part of that readjustment is going to be starting the show at midnight Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, when possible. Sometimes, man, lately there hasn't been enough material to do shows 5 days a week. Sometimes there hadn't been enough material to do shows 3 days a week. Because I'm just not going to get up here. All that. I've told you all that. I'm just not going to get up here and do it for, if it's not even, or some guys just do shows and you can hear it in their voices, and they don't want to be there. They don't want to be talking about it. I hear Lee Rogers do it all the time, God bless him, but I understand that's how it is, just how it is on Oracle, they kind of make you feel, sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Obligated to just, do shows every time and never miss a show and stuff like that. Lee does take days off, but I have noticed that, I'm just not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to do that to you. It's no fun to listen to, because I there are days when I don't want to be up here doing it and I'm not in a good mood or things aren't going right or something. And I'd get up here and, like Monday night, I try to get up here and do it. I just couldn't do it. And that happens, but, hey, that's the whole thing here. You want real, that's as real as it gets, man. I mean, it's just happens sometimes. Sometimes you're just not, your head's not in the game. You can't get your head in the game, but, that's going to come. You understand. I understand this. I hope you understand this, but if this happens to you as well, but it's just with doing anything. It's with anything you do, doesn't matter what it is or how much you like it or anything else. You're just, you just have days sometimes, you get on your female period or you get on your man period or whatever it may be, and you just don't feel like getting into that kind of stuff today. But I feel like getting into it tonight. We've got some stuff, but actually there wasn't, I was kind of considering the same thing tonight. That's why I'm starting the show so late again tonight. There just wasn't a lot of material tonight to work with, but I did end up finding some news stories here to cover with you tonight. So we'll do that. Last night we read the Kabbalion and we got into some Well, it was kind of a combination of things. We got into some stuff that really resonated with me and really reminded me of things that I had known before I ever actually knew them, or at least written a song and talked about, and it was at least subconsciously knowledge of it, even if I wasn't consciously knowledge of it, maybe at the time. But because I've written songs before, and honestly felt like when I was writing the songs, like there wasn't coming from me, it was coming from some other place, the source, whatever you want to call that. But so there was that, and then the part that we were reading in the Kabbalion just happened to be extra fucking long. I wasn't, most of the other stuff we read so far has been, it's been pretty easy action. You can read it 20, 30-minute segments, and it's good, and you move on. But man, that one last night was the long haul, and I got, I got balls deep in it, and it was too late to pull out, so I had to keep going with it until it was done. And sometimes that's what you got to do. Either that or gnaw your fucking arm off, whichever one you decide to do first. Anyway, thanks for being with us here tonight. My website where this broadcast originates from is www.theglobalreality.com. It's theglobalreality.com. And that's where you can find the links to listen to the stream. You can also take that stream and, paste it right now. Go and take the stream, a link to the stream, and paste that on on your Facebook or your Twitter or whatever your social networking drug of choice is. And they've got us all on them. We may all not be on their psychotropic drugs yet. And we may not all own cell phones yet. Well, actually, I'm the only person left on the planet that doesn't own a cell phone, but never owned one, won't own one. Although I feel that if I had an iPad or something, because you can do Skype things on that, you can have like a wireless headset, you can do Skype on that, you can have a number. I would go with that. I would do that, but other than that, no. Not gonna do that. Yeah, you can take that link and you can post that on any of your social networking sites, your drug of choice, whatever you choose, whatever gets your rocks off in the social networking world, and spread that around with your friends and say, hey, listen to this. It's it's live. It's fucking 2:00 in the goddamn morning, Central Standard Time. What else is live? Snorri? You listen to George Snorri or reruns of the Poodle Hair Mossad Agent? I mean, come on. This is live. It's here. It's live. It's not Memorex. It's not a recording. And combined with that, if you want to send in emails to the live show tonight, globalrealityshow@gmail.com. Hey, I'd love to have emails here tonight. I love your emails. I love the stuff that you guys send in. I love when I get to read them on the show. And please never be afraid to send me one. globalrealityshow@gmail.com. That's globalrealityshow@gmail.com. And I will do my best to answer your questions or comments or whatever else you have here tonight on the broadcast. My newest documentary film, The Secret Right Volume 2, is now out. You can get yourself a DVD or a Blu-ray or a research pack that has a DVD and a data disc, data DVD for your computer, where you can access files and basically all my files that I pieced together for the film. You'll have all that stuff. That's a package you can get. You can also get a bigger package that has the soundtrack disc and a bunch of other stuff. They're all up there. TheGlobalReality.com underneath the documentary tabs on my website. Then when you get to the documentary tab, you'll see the one that says Secret Right Volume 2 pay-per-view. Click that and scroll down on the screen right there. And you will see all the options there. And those prices do include shipping. There's no added surprise cost when you go to the website. A lot of guys do that. You know who does that? Alex Jones does that. I know for a fact, because I remember I used to always be pissed about that back in the day when I used to like him. And because, you'd be like, okay, I got enough to buy this video. And then you go, okay, I got, we got sales tax, we got shipping and handling, we got asshole tax, we got enchilada tax. I mean, it's like, the movie's $20. By the time we get with enchilada tax and all this other shit, it's like $32. Like, what the fuck? For San Pedro shipping, like it comes to you on a burro from South Texas or something. I don't know. It's fucking crazy, but Anyway, no hidden costs there. What you see is what you get. That's the price. That includes shipping. So go there to my website, theglobalreality.com, and order those today. You can also watch the whole thing pay-per-view. By the way, I want to send a message to Eric. Eric, you know who you are. You guys would know Eric from the chat room. His name's Electro Freenic in the chat room. Eric, some time ago, he was attending a school down in Florida, I believe. He's since moved from there, but he was attending school and did attend school for graphic design and, computer stuff, music production, that kind of thing. And he had made an ending for the Secret Right Volume 2 with these exploding polygon thing that was rad that, turned into this big ball and spun around. So the Secret Right 2 at the end and they exploded. It was really cool. And that was what I had planned on originally using for the intro, and I didn't like it as the intro. And I took it out. I made the intro that's there now. I like that better. But then I put it at the end of the film, and I liked it there. And so when I put up the pay-per-view version, I had the ending in there, but I didn't have any text edited over it yet because I hadn't put the credits in it yet because I had just gotten done with the film when I had done that encode. So I didn't have any of that stuff in there yet. Well, it didn't have a problem when I didn't have text and music over it to render down. It seemed just fine. But when I went back and I added text over that, and added music under it, no matter how I encoded the video, it just wouldn't encode. Remember I told you guys that the Mac was just sitting here for like 2 weeks trying to encode the film, and it would get down to like 98%. It would just stall and sit there. Well, that little clip that Eric made was the problem, because when I took that out, it went all the way through after it had not worked for 2 weeks. Put that back in, tried it again, same thing, just sat there and hung. So that was the issue. So sorry, Eric. I mean, you did a great job on that, man, and I appreciate you making that. But it's unfortunately it's not going to be. It actually isn't at all on the CD or the DVD or the Blu-ray. I'm sorry. It's just I had to go with a black screen with the Star Wars style text there. But that's what it was, man. I tried everything. I tried re-encoding the video. I tried it 100 different ways, and I was something about just, I don't know what it was. It would just get to that point of the film, and it just wouldn't render it down the rest of the way. So, but I wanted to send that message to Eric because he had made that. But I really enjoyed it, and everybody that saw it liked it. I do have a version out. There are some versions out there that have it on there. I mean, I think I have one that's one that I given to friends, or one that I had here at the house. I've got one on it somewhere. I'll try to. What I'll do, Eric. I know you've got an order. I'll look around here and find the disc that I have. I know I've got one. It might be a Blu-ray. It might be a DVD. I don't know. I don't even know if you have a Blu-ray player, but whatever it is, I'll find it that has that. I've got one around here somewhere that has the it actually has it on the disc, your outro that you made. So what I'll do is I'll try to find that one, and I'll send that one along with the copy of the film that you bought, buddy. Okay, because you've been a big supporter of mine, and you've donated, and you've donated with your work as well, and I appreciate it. I've seen how far this guy's come. He first started listening to my show back when I was on Oracle. He found me through Ma Justice's show over there. Carolyn Harris, you might know her. She runs a website with NWO Library, I believe is what it is. Yeah, and she was a host over there on Oracle when I was over there. And that's how Eric found my show, was through her show. So he's been around for a couple of years now, and he's really grown as a researcher. And he was kind of, one of those guys like us who was really trying to find, what the deeper aspects of this was. And I just wanted to thank him and tell him what was going on with that, because I had seen him asking about it in the chat room one day, and I got busy and forgot to respond. That's what I was thinking about today. I was like, there's several things I want to talk about here tonight, because I just do that all the time. I'll get up here and do my show, and I'll be 5 minutes after the show's over, and go, God damn it. I meant to talk about that shit. So I'm going to try to get through as many of those tonight for you as I can. So there you go. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Merry Christmas to you. Whatever it is you celebrate, if you don't celebrate, but, I forgot we're not supposed to say Merry Christmas anymore. Yeah. Fuck you. Look, we all know it's bullshit, but I mean, this programming of, let's change the tradition they all grew up with just to piss them off so we can further enrage them. And and get them into violent conflict with us. Look, we're not buying into that. You can try all this negativity and all this raising of the negative energy all you want, but if we keep fighting back with positivity, then we're not going to be the losers. That's for sure. But what was I thinking? There's always something I always mention. What was this week? I swear there were several things this week I meant to mention. I didn't. Oh man. Well, you know what I will mention. What I haven't mentioned yet, and I should mention because, yes, as per usual, there are connections to these CMP cronies. But what about? Well, I'll tell you. This is a funny story. Last week I was sitting at the table and my sister was sitting there and she had some magazine or something that came from somewhere and it had Tim Tebow on the front of it. And she says, "Who the hell is Tim Tebow?" And I start laughing. I'm like, "Tebow?" I'm like, "Oh man." I'm like, you know what? Thank you for reminding me about that because I was actually going to talk about this Tebow character on my show and I forgot to. Man, I mean, this shit's just off the chain with this guy. The Jesus juice did seem to run dry last week, though. I have to say that. But, I mean, it's just great. I mean, this guy wins the Heisman Trophy. He gets drafted. He's riding the bench. The Super Bowl this year, back in February of this year, was held here in Dallas, where I live. And during the Super Bowl, which I won't watch many sports activities or anything, but, it was here. I want to see the commercials, so I was watching on TV. During the Super Bowl, they had these pro-life ads, these anti-abortion pro-life ads. And on one of these ads that I saw during the Super Bowl, there was Tim Tebow. Now, mind you, this is back in February. No quote-unquote miracle season had happened yet. Now, notice how they use that religious terminology surrounding it. And then, of course, his, the hand move, the Tebow, the new planking is now Tebow. And, going around and doing is like you're praying and taking a picture of it somewhere. But, I saw that back in February and I went, this cocksucker. I don't keep up with football, but you got to understand, I know a lot more about sports than you would think that I do because I'm constantly going through the news. And when you go through the news, believe it or not, it's very important that you go through sports news because you're always going to find little tidbits of things you wouldn't think you would, but you do. You find little tidbits of things that connect to the larger spectrum. So it's that's kind of a tip that I always give up-and-coming researchers and people who ask me, for advice and stuff. I always tell them, hey, make sure that when you're researching, you look at all the news. Not just, don't just go to, CNN.com and hit the science news, the tech news, and the world news. Make sure you go to entertainment. Make sure you go to media. Make sure you go to sports. I know all those things are trivial, and they are, and I know they are, and we know they're there, what they're there for, and we know what tools they are for the elite. But you'd be surprised when you go through this stuff. You will find references. I mean, I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff. So anyway, I see Tebow on these commercials. I'm going, man, that's crazy. I mean, this guy's sitting on the bench and stuff. I mean, he's a rookie player. He's already doing these commercials. Then I go and find out that these commercials with Tim Tebow on them that played during the Super Bowl were actually funded by James Dobson of the CMP and Focus on the Family. So he does those in February. Then you have the NFL lockout, and then the season starts, and blah blah blah. We're in the Super Bowl. We're in the season. Boom! Beginning of the season starts. Denver's starting quarterback goes down. Here comes Tebow in, and then he wins. I don't know how many come behind in the fourth quarter or whatever. I don't know all the stats, but all of a sudden it's a miracle season. And then SNL does Saturday Night Live does a skit of Tebow, and it was really, I mean, I saw the skit. It was really milquetoast, and Saturday Night Live has been funny in fucking years. I don't even know why I didn't think anybody really still watched that. I can't believe I didn't even know it was still on the air, but to be honest with you, I really didn't. That's how far unplugged with that stuff I am. But apparently some people still watch it, and some people still think it's funny. But I saw this skit they did about Tim Tebow, and yeah, I thought it was funny. I mean, I laughed at a couple of the stuff in there. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't. I mean, I didn't think it was real milquetoast, man. I mean, it was, the Saturday Night Live thing only goes so far. It's NBC, but anyway, so here comes Pat Robertson. He's all up in arms about this, saying it's fueled by anti-Christian bigotry, and I really didn't see that in there. But how amazing is that for Tebow The guy who was sitting on the bench to all of a sudden have this chance, and all of a sudden they're using all this religious terminology surrounding it. He's doing commercials for James Dobson of the CMP. Then this other CMP, Pat Robertson, comes to his aid and his rescue, like a knight in shining armor after SNL, attacks the godly, angelic Tebow. Oh my God, have you ever seen this guy? I mean, you thought the Manning brothers were. Excuse me. You thought the Manning brothers were a couple of mouth-breathing dummies. I mean, my God. Look at Tebow's football. That's how the Manning brothers are. They just walk around with their mouths open. Bunch of mouth-breathing dummies. Football. Fucking bunch of meatheads, But, yeah, the Jesus runs strong with that one. That's for sure. I love it, though. I mean, my point about this is, the only reason I even bring it up is because it's a microcosm. When you look at, folks, the NFL is completely controlled by Rome. It is. When you hear somebody call the NFL gladiatorial distractions, folks, that is not just a name that's thrown around willy-nilly. That is exactly what it is, and it is modern-day Rome gladiatorial distractions. The NFL has always been and is to this day fully controlled and owned by the mob via the Vatican, via Rome. They control the bookies control the owners. I mean, it's a big mob. It's a big mafia. And that's what game these guys are in, and they use it to further their agenda, and they use it as, for all kinds of stuff, money laundering. I mean, the NFL serves a multitude of purposes for the elite. I mean, it's big business for them, and that's the reason why there's so much importance placed on it in this country. Look, I'm not telling you not to watch football. Fuck, watch football. Go ahead. I'll watch a game with you. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, some people just take this shit to extremes sometimes. You don't have to take this stuff to be extremes to be informed about it. If you want to watch TV. But as long as you know what it is, then it can't have an effect on you. That's what you have to understand. I mean, I just see so many people that try to just do what you can. You don't have to do it everywhere. People, I'm cutting myself off from TV, video games, internet, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's kind of extreme. It's kind of rash. It's really not necessary. Because, again, it's all about who is in control of the situation. And when you're unaware and you're uninformed of the real reality of things, then the TV and the advertising, the media and all that other stuff, it has control over you. You don't have control over it. Once you become informed and you're aware of that, the NFL is this Roman spectacle that's ran by the mob. And when you understand that, TV and all this stuff is an extension of the propaganda, then when you willfully subject yourself to it, it's amazing. It no longer has any effect on you, and certainly does not have the effect on you that it does when you're just completely uninformed of it. So that's what I always try to stress to people is to try to get that balance, Oftentimes, as soon as we find out something's bad for us, we just say, okay, poof, that's it. Well, that's not always the most healthy thing to do, people find out they're putting all this shit in the water and they say, okay, I'm not drinking water anymore. Kind of a bad decision. Anyway, let's see what else we have here. There's some crazy fucking news again tonight. Confirming what the ancient texts have talked about for many years here. Earth has always had two moons. The discovery of mysterious tiny asteroids which constantly circle our planet. When astronomers caught sight of a mysterious titanium white object circling the Earth in 2006, they assumed it was a spent rocket. But it was actually a small asteroid captured by our gravitational field, which rotated around the Earth until June 2007. And a new study published yesterday by astrophysicists at Cornell claims this little moon was not an anomaly. These asteroids come and go so often it means our planet has always had a temporary second moon. See, you said that a couple years ago. You're a kook. You're a tinfoil hat conspiracy nutter. Shut the fuck up and go back to your mom's basement. You know, you sit there, wait, but the ancient text, shut up. We don't care. That's a 5,000 fucking year old text. You think they knew anything 5,000 years ago? They didn't know shit. Shut up. Cornell University's Michael Granvig, Jeremy Fabalion, and Robert Zedecki say they have calculated the population of irregular natural satellites that are temporarily captured by Earth. In a research paper, the astronomers say that while these moons are small, the scientific implications of this discovery are phenomenal. At any given time, there should be at least one natural Earth satellite or 1 meter diameter orbiting the Earth. The team say in the research paper the population of natural Earth satellites published on the Cornell University website. Even if at a few meters wide, the asteroids qualify as a natural satellite just like our moon. And although they are difficult to track, astronomers believe they could potentially save millions by waiting for them to orbit the Earth instead of launching missions into the solar system. Even though a fact-finding mission couldn't land on an asteroid only a few meters wide, it could get close enough to collect information. So again, every day, new revelations, new discoveries, both here on Earth and out there in the universe. I mean, it's unbelievable. Every day now, new stuff is coming out. I mean, you can feel it. There's an exponentiation going on, and that's that's to me it's criminally under talked about. When people talk about 2012, it's criminally under talked about. The whole galactic alignment thing. That's really to me the most important and the most interesting aspect of it. And this idea of moving into total photon belt immersion and different things that have happened anytime we've had alignments like this. Especially alignments that line up with Cygnus. We've seen great jumps in human evolution and stuff like that around these alignments. And I don't know, man. I guess it's like the old REM song says, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. I guess that's just the way it is. Because, if it is the end of the world, I really like to think that my gut and my intuition would tell me that it is. Because it's pretty good on those type of things. And it's just not telling me that it is, man. It's telling me it's absolutely anything but that. And I don't know if that means anything to you, but it does mean something to me. And if that ends up not being the case, okay, I die. So what? There are worse fates than death. But it just seems every day there's just an exponentiation of new things that are coming out. And to me, those are the interesting things to cover. All the other news now is being shifted towards the election cycle, just like I knew it would. I hate these times of year because it just, it becomes, so I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to cover that shit. I can't believe I did that. For those of you, there are still a few people out there that have been listening to me the whole time I've been on air. But I apologize for every radio show that I ever did, from the very first show I did in September 2007 all the way to about, I'd say about March 2008. I apologize for every show I did during that period. My God. Because I was, actually even pretty much all the way to September of that year, because I was pretty much covering all the election horse shit all the way to the elections, because that's all there was to cover. And at that time, I was a new jack and I had to have some stuff to talk about. But luckily, that was also when I was first finding out about the CMP stuff. So while everybody else was, it was really it's just amazing. Now that I look back on it, it's just amazing it worked out like that. At the time, it didn't seem like anything special. But looking back on it, that was kind of what gave me a leg up and what kind of got me known at the time, because while everybody else was constantly talking about the elections, you tune into Oracle, it would be, you tune in at 8 o'clock in the morning and all the way until, 8 or 9 o'clock at night, you'd hear every show's talking about the news of the day in the election cycle, Obama this, McCain that, whatever, So, so when I started bringing out the CMP stuff, that's what people were like, wow, here's something different. But unfortunately, people really didn't start to pay attention until after the election was over. But let's see what else we have here in these new discoveries. This is interesting. Hubble discovers building blocks of life on Pluto's surface. Now, Pluto's always been one of those interesting things because Pluto and its cycle in the solar system has very profound effects upon both our conscious waking mind and our subconscious minds. So its location to us in orbit is always an interesting thing because of the effects it has on our subconscious and conscious minds. And they've called this thing a planet. And they said it's not a planet, and they've changed it back and forth. But now they're saying they may have found the building blocks of life on Pluto. That's a bit of change. Pluto kind of getting some love again. Yeah, Pluto was kind of the bastard redheaded stepchild of the solar system. Now, looks like Pluto is getting invited back into the family here. Complex hydrocarbon molecules are thought to have been crucial to the first life on planet Earth. The new cosmic origin spectrograph on the Hubble Space Telescope has discovered the first hints that these chemicals might be present in an unlikely place, the rocky, icy surface of the distant dwarf planet Pluto. The spectrograph discovered a strong absorber of ultraviolet light on the surface, which hints at hydrocarbons living there. The chemicals detected on the surface might have been produced by sunlight or cosmic rays reacting with Pluto's surface ices, which include frozen methane, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen. This is exciting find. Plutonian hydrocarbons may be responsible for giving Pluto its ruddy color. Hydrocarbons, huh? Aren't those things they tell us we're fucking up our atmosphere with while we got to fight this global warming? It's a big planet full of hydrocarbons. Brought to you by ExxonMobil. Yeah, Exxon probably going, how do we get these hydrocarbons from Pluto here? We have to go to Pluto. Send Bruce Willis. Give him a bunch of babies to eat, and he'll do it, please. Yet another interesting archaeological discovery here. This is, again, like we talked about the agate stone last night that couldn't have been done with primitive tooling. A 9,500-year-old bracelet has been analyzed using the very latest computers, and the results show that it is so intricate, even today's craftsmen would struggle to improve it. Again, push the Supocalypse button there. It's aliens!
It's aliens, motherfucker.
A 905... That's just crazy. That's insane. Researchers from the Institute Franque del Etudes Antonales in Istanbul, oh my God, and the Laboratory de Tribology de... Oh my God, French? No, thanks. Really? You couldn't dumb it down a little bit for us there? You had to give us the full French title of this place. Just say it was at a fucking institute in France. Researchers at the Institute in France. See how much better that sounds? Let me read the edited version here. Oh my God. Researchers from the Institute in France studied the bracelet surface and its microtopographic features, revealing the astounding technical expertise of the maker. The bracelet is obsidian, which means it is made from volcanic glass, which, of course, if you try to do any kind of... Look at that thing. I dropped it in the chat room. Look, folks, if you try to do that on obsidian, or the hammer and a chisel or some shit like that, there's no fucking way. It would crack. It's glass. It's volcanic glass. I'm trying to see, do I have a piece of obsidian here? I don't know. I've got several stones on my desk here. I don't think I have a piece of obsidian up here. I do have a, well, this is a cool one. What do you call it? Oh, a Lemurian seed crystal. Yeah. That's just unbelievable. There's no way. So it's 9,500 years old, and yeah, no way they could have done that. That's laser etched into obsidian. Research analysis of it sheds new light on Neolithic societies, which remain highly mysterious. Discovered in 1995, the site of Ashiki Hoek in Turkey. Oh, of course, in Turkey. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, that's where it's starting to look like there's some real shit at is in Turkey. It was analyzed by software designed to characterize the orange peel effect on car bodywork. The process revealed that the bracelet, 10 centimeters in diameter, was made and polished using highly specialized manufacturing techniques. In fact, the surface was polished to a degree equal to that of today's telescope lenses. The bracelet is the oldest known example of an obsidian item common during the Neolithic period. The obsidian craft reached its peak on the 7th. Well, you know what? Some of this stuff, I don't know. I mean, I know the first response of most people is, well, okay, they could have done that at that time. It was probably done by, aliens or something like that. Well, it may be so, but maybe it was done by somebody from the future. Maybe, I mean, I've seen a lot of evidence that there's just been time travelers just running all over the place for some time now. I remember that I remember about 10 years ago, there was this company that was selling these boxes online where allegedly you could put together this kit and like fire this thing up next to like a power grid somewhere and jump through time. And, people have been followed by Men in Black doing it. I don't know if it's true. I remember reading that like 10 years ago, but some of this stuff, who knows? I mean, it very well could have come from maybe it was some civilization underground. Seeing a lot more evidence for that, a lot more evidence that we think this outer world we live on is the only world there is, but in fact, there's a whole other world inside of the earth, and we seem to be fucking it up for them in there, and that's what a lot of people think UFOs and a lot of this stuff are, because UFOs have been seen coming from out of ponds and lakes and out of water sources and stuff like that, places from inside the earth. That's very possible. It's just as possible that they're coming from inside the earth as it is they're coming from out in space somewhere. But that's definitely some advanced craftsmanship there. The Atlas detector, one of the LHC Large Hadron Collider two huge particle detectors, captured a particle that physicists had suspected to exist for years but had never seen in the wild. The Chi B3P particle was detected among data from the trillions of collisions at the LHC. The discovery was hailed as testimony to how effectively physicists were now scanning the collision data, an essential background to the LHC's ongoing quest for the Higgs, a theoretical particle which is thought to explain why the universe has mass. Physicists scanned the data from the LHC's detectors for unusual signals from the debris of high-energy collisions. This new particle is an important milestone for the collider and a crucial step in its mission to fill in the gaps in our understanding of physics. Professor Stefan Solner-Rembold, a particle physicist at the University of Manchester, said the Higgs will always be the Nobel Prize, but this discovery is still very exciting. And what's been discovered, he explained, is a particle comprised of a bottom quark and a bottom anti-quark, an entirely new kid on the subatomic block that until now was merely a theory. He told Mail Online that it's an exciting confirmation of the theory of strong interactions that keeps these particles together, the same theory that describes how a nucleus sticks together. What they found is a B quark and an anti-B quark. Again, down to the subatomic level. Recreating, rebuilding, and destroying at the subatomic level and rebuilding. I mean, that's... these guys talk about the builder and the grand architect. I mean, that's their goal. Oh, that's fantastic news. Yeah, that's just fantastic news right there. From Phys.org.com, DARPA's new spy satellite could provide real-time video from anywhere on Earth. Could, you should have said can. Because again, like anything else, they're telling us about it. That means they already have it. They've had it for some time. They're using it. It sees you when you're sleeping and it knows when you're awake. Could be the new theme song for a new spy satellite being developed by DARPA. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency's latest proof of concept project is called the Membrane Optical Imager for Real-Time Exploration and would provide real-time images and video of any place on Earth at any time, a capability that so far only exists in the realm of movies and science fiction. The details of this huge eye in the sky look something right out of science fiction as well, and it would be interesting to determine if it could have applications for astronomy. It would be a geosynchronous orbital system that uses a huge but lightweight membrane optic. A 20-meter wide membrane eye would be etched with a different pixel, the eye in the sky. I am the eye in the sky, looking at you. I can read your mind. That's totally what it is. I like, you know what though? I have to applaud them. I really have to applaud. I mean, at least they're admitting to this stuff now. But of course, again, as we know, this has already been up there for some time. They've had Worldview 1 up there for a couple years now. I mean, my God, Worldview 1 can see through like 8 inches of concrete and steel. 3D beautiful color image. That's 2, 3, 4-year-old technology, folks. Maybe even older than that. I mean, they could see ahead of a dime in a parking lot in the 1960s. Come on. So they're going to be able to provide real-time video anywhere on the planet, anytime. My God, think of the reality TV programming possibilities you could have there. We might get 2,000 or 3,000 more channels out of this puppy. My God, think of the possibilities. We could have real-time images of, hyenas stripping the carcasses of small tribal children in somewhere in bumfuck Africa. Live shark maulings, live from the Gold Coast of Australia, whatever. Oh, this is great for them, man. How about we just broadcast everybody's life 24 hours a day on its own channel, 24 hours a day on the internet, and at any given time you can go and watch somebody's channel of their life. Oh, hey, let's go see what Josh is doing today. Oh, shit. He's sitting in front of his computer like he's been doing for the past 3 days, and he's scratching his nuts and playing with his cat. Wow. That really does seem like that's what they want, doesn't it? One nation under the drone, the rising number of UAVs in American skies, a secret air show in Houston, an unmanned blimp in Utah, a sovereign citizen arrest in North Dakota. Each of these is just one small part of the bigger story of the proliferation of unmanned aircraft use within the U.S. Yeah, I mean, just look up, dude. I see these fucking drones all the time. I think that's what my buddy saw that he was telling me about a few months ago about this flying nutsack he saw flying over Dallas one morning. He said, swear to God, it was the only thing he could describe it as. Looked like a flying scrotum. I was like, dude, I don't think that was aliens. I think that was like some kind of fucking drone or something. I mean, really. We got to look at the evidence on that one. Which do we have more evidence for? Do we have more evidence that the leaders of our world and our countries make bombs and bullets and rockets and drones and everything else shaped like cocks? Big, long, strong cocks. That's what they like, girthy. Or do we have evidence that that's the aliens? Because aliens, their shit's round. Round like a boob or round like a, like the inside of a vagina where you put your penis. Yeah, it's only our leaders in our countries that make these scrotum-shaped drones and cock-shaped, bullets and all this crap. And each is likely to become smaller still if the FAA goes through with plans to loosen regulations governing domestic use of drones. News reports about predator attacks in Iraq and Afghanistan are common, if not always complete. But what's gotten much less attention is the increase in unarmed drones that are buzzing around within the U.S. itself. Primarily unarmed Predator B drones are only used by government agents to patrol the border for illegal immigrants, but there are a very large handful of other agencies, see, that's the key, other agencies, which they don't name, by the way, and companies. That's interesting. See, they kind of slide that in the article there. A handful of other agencies. Who? Okay, well, they don't tell us. And companies. Oh, so private companies now are flying unarmed, unmanned drones around American airspace. Well, that's a nice admission. Thank you so much, whoever wrote this goddamn article, for admitting that. And they use smaller unarmed drones for a slew of other purposes, and that number is only expected to grow. The FAA says that as of September 13, 2011, there were 285 active certificates of authorization for 85 different users, covering 82 different unmanned, unarmed aircraft types. Though the exact breakdown of the organizations who have authorization is unclear, and the FAA would not elaborate for privacy and security reasons. Right. Yeah, well, we're going to tell you we're flying these things around there, but when you ask who and what companies and what other agencies are using it, well, we can't tell you that. That's probably have privacy and security reasons. We're not telling you that. Privacy and security reasons, not for us, not for our privacy or our security. Privacy and security for these motherfuckers who are doing this illegally. See, the cards are always stacked. They're always stacked in their direction. The house always wins. Well, it's time we fuck the house up and flip the script and take this game back and put it in the hands and let the people run the house. How about that? In January, the Washington Post reported that as of December 1st, 2010, 35% of the permissions were held by the Department of Defense, of course, 11% by NASA, of course, and 5% by the Department of Homeland Security. The FBI and law enforcement agencies also hold some, as do manufacturers and even academic institutions. By the way, I don't know if you guys have seen there's new Beavis and Buttheads. MTV's created new Beavis and Buttheads now, and they're just as stupid and retarded and funny as they always have been. But there's one I saw that recently where they it's cool because Mike Judge is finally kind of entering some of his because Mike Judge is fully awake and aware and knows what's going on, but he's kind of entering some of that stuff in Beavis and Butthead a little bit now, so it's kind of funny. But the hippie teacher Van Driesen takes some of the class for career day, and they take them to the Army training base, and Butthead's like, where's like the rest of the class and stuff? There's like not very many of us here, and he's like, oh well. The rest of the students, our tests indicated the rest of the students would be more appropriate going to tour the Hewlett-Packard factory. You students are coming here to the Army, and so they go, so they go to the Army base and stuff, and Beavis and Butthead find the drone room, and the guy who's running the drone room decides to get a sandwich for lunch, and so Beavis is going in there thinking, hey, it's San Andreas. I'm gonna kill some prostitutes. Yeah, it's gonna be killer. Yeah, it's gonna be badass. Huh? We're gonna kill some prostitutes. Yeah, prostitutes. Yeah, San Andreas. And so he's like, I don't see any chicks on here. He's like, yeah, I don't see any prostitutes either. All I see is like sheep and old raghead dudes. And he's because he's flying the fucking thing around Afghanistan with like live ammo, popping shit off on herdsmen and stuff. He thinks it's a video game. Anyway, if you had a chance to see that, it's pretty funny. But yeah, they're even using these dragonfly. That's a lot of these drones are using now. They're using the real popular ones are using ones like what I saw, the bird, the dragonfly. I know I've seen the dragonfly before. I saw a dragonfly one day in part of, in Dallas where there ain't fucking no dragonflies at ever. Kevin Lochner, a grant assistant specialist for the Canada-based manufacturers of the dragonfly drones, couldn't say how many they've sold in the U.S. so far, but he said that aside from law enforcement agencies, they've sold drones to companies in real estate, manufacturing, academic institutions, and even resorts. He described how some construction companies use drones for safety reasons in place of a person on top of a crane or scaffolding. I killed this fucking roach the other night. I think this thing, I'm going to be straight up with you. I think it was a robo roach. I think it was a robo drone roach. I saw my cat. My cat was on it, dude. Like it came in from like the front door or something, or some area near there. And, my cat was just on that shit. I saw him stalking it. And then I didn't see where it went. I was like, well, did you get it? And then about 5 minutes later, I see this fucker trucking across the floor. Man, it was fucking huge, dude. I mean, this thing was like, it was like the size of a mouse. It was like about 6 inches long and about 3 inches. I thought it was like a fucking Madagascar hissing cockroach or something, dude. Anyway, I fucking wailed on this thing, man, with my shoe, with a box. I mean, I went to town on this thing, dude. Fucking this thing up. Right? And this motherfucker would not die. It was like made of Kevlar or something. I shit you not. It was just last night. And I was fucking wailing on this thing. And finally, I wailed on it and I cut the thing in half, right? It was like, well, like a big, you ever cut a snake's head off and the head will still be coming at you, even though it's separated from the body. It was like that. And I swear to you, man, I don't expect you to believe me, but I swear this thing had like wires and shit sticking out of it. They looked like fibers. You know, like those fibers that people pull out of their skin when they get more gallons? It looked like that. And you understand, man, I can't describe this to you. Killing this thing was like killing a fucking 8-foot rat in my room. I mean, I was like sweaty, and I was wailing on this motherfucker for a good 5 minutes before, and it would not die. So finally, when I cut it in half, I went and got some wadded up toilet paper, and I didn't have time to grab my camera thing because I was freaking out. I was trying to get this thing the fuck out of here because I thought it was a drone or something. So I grabbed some toilet paper, and I go to grab this thing and pick it up. And when I grab the thing and pick it up, I hate to be graphic on you, but the only thing I can describe of what this thing felt like when I scooped it up in the paper, I've never felt like this when I pick up a roach, dude. It was heavy. And I don't know, maybe it was just some big mama full of babies, or I don't know, dude, but this thing was heavy. When I picked it up, it felt like I hate to be graphic, but it felt like I had my own girthy, erect penis in my hand. I hate to say that, but that's what it felt like when I picked this thing up. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is this thing? Because, it was a behemoth, man. I don't know what the fuck. It was huge. It was too big to be real. So when I picked it up and I was like, kind of look down, it's kind of like, you never want to look at your, don't look at the toilet paper when you wipe your ass, But sometimes you're like, you can't resist. And you want to get a little sneak peek. You're like, oh yeah, fuck. Oh man, yeah, I blew mud. Shit. And you get a sneak peek, right? Even though you shouldn't. Well, that's how it was when I was getting ready to throw this thing in the toilet. I killed it, I smashed it. I'm like, oh God, it's still moving. I split the thing in half and it was still moving around and sliming around in the fucking toilet paper. I looked down and caught a peek, and it looked like more Gellens fibers inside of this thing. I fucking ran to the toilet and threw that thing in there and flushed it twice and made sure that motherfucker was gone. I didn't stick around with it to take pictures and all that shit. So I don't expect you to believe me because I don't have proof. But goddamn, man, I don't know what the fuck that was. But that thing was, I don't know what they were feeding that thing. Small children. They were feeding that thing, llamas. I don't know what. I just don't know. Oh man, I had to bring that up because I've seen some strange stuff. I saw a moth one time a couple years ago at my old house, and I swear that motherfucker was a drone. I heard this thing whizzing. It came whizzing by my head, dude. And when this thing came whizzing by my head, it sounded like a fucking 747. I am not kidding you. I could hear it. Like it was roaring past my head. And I kind of took a step back. I was like, what the fuck is that? And I saw it land. I was like, holy shit. And I've seen Luna moths, and I've seen the, emperor moths, or all these big, hairy, that's what they literally, these big, hairy, colorful things. I've seen tons of those, man. I've seen freakishly large ones out in East Texas, where some of my family, big prehistoric looking fucking things. But man, this thing just did not look real to me at all. But, again, that was 2006, 2007, something like that, 2008 maybe. Even just 3-4 short years ago, those kind of things, if you talked about experiences like that, people would say you're out of your mind. Now, here it is, here's this article. One nation under drone, the rising number of UAVs in American skies. I would say it's more there than we even know about. How many times have you seen those orbs, those silver balls flying around up there? I don't know if I have the article here in front of me, but I want to say that I read a story about one of those metallic orbs that people have seen in the skies a lot. Yeah, I don't have the story in front of me. Maybe somebody can find that. We can get it up on the website. But apparently, one of those crashed somewhere, and they recovered it. But anyway, I got a few more stories here I want to get to tonight, and we'll take a break and get into the Kabbalion. Inception becomes reality. People can teach themselves new skills and dreams. The idea of the surreal Hollywood blockbuster Inception, where people travel through someone's dreams to plant an idea in his head, may not be so far out there after all. Researchers at Yale, of course, have found that lucid dreamers who have waking dreams that they can control, are able to learn new skills in their dreams. A team is now experimenting with the idea of training people by telling them what to dream about. People who can control their dreams can use the unusual ability to experience a sense of euphoria as if they have something to accomplish. But new research hints that people can actually use dreaming as a tool to learn. Yep, absolutely. Being in command of dreams opens up opportunities to manipulate them for learning and training, although it may not be quite as precise as learning to play the violin while asleep. Instead, lucid dreamers can control areas of their brain to open up and learn while they sleep. What's more, it seems that merely being a lucid dreamer seems to give you an advantage. Researchers from Yale University found that lucid dreamers perform better in a gambling task designed to test a part of the brain important to emotional decision-making and social interaction, said a report in The New Scientist this week. Peter Morgan at Yale University and colleagues think that this region can be trained. Morgan and his team are working on how to train people using dreams. Well, what if they start training you when you don't want to be trained for things? That's the real problem. That's probably been going on forever. Morgan hopes to be able to improve a person's social control and decision-making abilities. Yeah, the road to hell's paved with good intentions there, buddy. Man, I got to cover this one. I've been saving this one, save the best for last here tonight. I want to go cover this. I'm making this a part of my goal for the next film. I want to get out to, well, there's a lot of places I want to get out to here for this next film. But man, this goes right in line with the rest of the stuff I've already been planning for the next documentary film I'm going to make on some of these hidden ancient societies or hidden societies that seem to be older than they want to let on to, that seem to be all around the United States. Lots here in Texas and Oklahoma, but this I had not heard of, and this is unbelievable. I really want to get in contact with the archaeologists and find out if I can travel there, maybe to shoot some footage of this. And I mean, I would like to do this sometime soon. Archaeologists have discovered the ruins of an ancient Mayan city in the mountains of North Georgia, believed to be at least 1,100 years old. Now, see, folks, with the rock wall thing and the other wall now, see, now that we're starting to find these Mesoamerican type civilizations this far north, this is a game changer. I mean, my God, they found this thing in Georgia. That's why, understand that's why they called Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta, right? As in Atlanta is in Atlantis. In 1999, the University of Georgia archaeologist Mark Williams led an expedition to investigate the Kinnemer Mound, a large five-sided pyramid built in approximately 900 AD in the foothills of Georgia's tallest mountain. There's a pyramid in Georgia. How come I didn't know about this? I got to get out there, man. In the foothills of Georgia's tallest mountain, Brasstown Bald, many local residents have assumed for years that the pyramid was just another wooded hill. But in fact, it was a structure built on an existing hill and a method common to Mayans living in Central America as well as to southeastern Native American tribes. Of course, again, keeping it covered up. Speculation has abounded for years as to what could have happened to the people who lived in the great Mesoamerican cities of the first century. Some historians believe they simply died out in plagues and food shortages, cholera blankets. But others have long speculated about the possibility of mass migration to other regions. When evidence began to turn up of Mayan connections to the Georgia site, South African archaeologist Johannes Laubser brought teams to the site who took soil samples and analyzed pottery shards, which dated the site and indicated that it had been inhabited for many decades, approximately 1,000 years ago. The people who settled there were known as Itsamaya. It's a Maya. It's a Maya. Yeah, it's a pizza. The Itsamaya, a word that carried over into the Cherokee language of the region. The city that is being uncovered there is believed to have been called Yupaha, which Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto searched for unsuccessfully in 1540. So far, archaeologists have unearthed at least 154 stone masonry walls. Now, that's interesting. Stone masonry walls. That's exactly what we have at the rock wall, 20 miles. For agricultural terraces, plus evidence of a sophisticated irrigation system and ruins of several other stone structures. Much more still may be hidden underground. This find is particularly relevant in the fact that it establishes specific links between the culture of southeastern Native Americans and ancient Mayans. Folks, this is huge. I mean, because if I could get out there and talk to these archaeologists and get out there and get some footage of this for the film, which I'm sure wouldn't be a problem. I mean, this may be an opportunity to get, some of my information about the rock wall into the hands of these people. These people may be the people that can get funding for that kind of thing to do a dig. That's really what I want to do with this film, is to get up, get some interest up in these things. So maybe we can get some new digs going and find some new information out. Because if we continue to rely on them and the universities and the people that have money to do the archaeology digging, folks, we're going to be at the mercy of them for the information that we find out. We're never going to get the true information. The only way for us to do that is to take this into our own hands and do the digs and do this kind of stuff ourselves. And I am willing to do that. In fact, I'm chomping at the bit to do that. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be that's gonna be a goal for me over the next few months. I'm gonna try to get some funds together, get a rental car and get some funds together to make the trip. Because also there's some other places around kind of close to there as well. I'd like to be. I know the Georgia Guidestones are there near there as well, which is kind of interesting. Could be a reason why those are placed there. Close to where this. Some ancient Mayan things. There's a pyramid there. I mean, come on, that's kind of important, right? How come we hadn't been told that up to this point? Unbelievable stuff. Well, we're going to take a break, come back, and get into the Kabbalion for you here tonight on the show. Global Reality Show at gmail.com is my email address. If you'd like to send an email, love to have emails from you over there anytime. TheGlobalReality.com is my website. The chip and banner and the donate button is there. If you'd like to make a donation for the network or for me for the holidays, use the donate button there. Any amount would be great. Anything we get to help us out. We got some help. We're going to be getting got some help on the shipping a little bit. So we're going to be getting all that stuff out for you. I'll be working on that tonight and tomorrow. I may or may not be live tomorrow. I don't know. I'm really going to try to work on tonight and tomorrow, getting as many of the orders shipped out before Saturday as I can. So, plus I kind of shot my load last night. I kind of went a lot farther. Oh yeah, a little DO there for you. Global Reality Late Night Moonbat Edition for you here on the broadcast. Glad you could be with us here tonight for another late night show. And we're going to be getting into the Kabbalion here in this segment of the broadcast. I have a couple of more news stories. Two more I want to get into that I skipped. One that I found, one that I skipped that's important too. They're really important I want to get into here. And then we'll get into the Kabbalion for you here tonight. My website, where this broadcast originates from, theglobalreality.com. TheGlobalReality.com. I want to let you guys know, I'm going to give them until I run out. But all you guys that ordered DVD and Blu-ray packages so far, till I run out, you're all going to get, done as an added bonus, top of all the other cool shit I'm already giving you. You're going to get a free Global Reality bumper sticker in every order. Yes, indeed. So you guys will all have your very own Global Reality bumper sticker to put on whatever you like to put it on. Maybe put it over that old InfoWars sticker you've been meaning to take off your car for the past couple of years, but you just can't seem to take it off. Hey, what? Hold on, my cat's talking back here. What, Hank? What do you want? Come here. I'm doing a show right now. You want to sit in my lap while I'm doing the show, or what? Are you cold? Is that what it is? All right. Well, I'll let you sit here for a minute. If you start being a butt, I'm going to make you get down, but you can sit in my lap for a minute. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, you'll get the stickers and enjoy those. I got some a while back and was waiting to distribute those with the film. So yeah, I'll be definitely sending those out as well. On an Anunnaki cat listening device. Yeah, he's definitely not. My cat's definitely from another universe. He doesn't understand the concept of me doing a radio show, though. He gets confused. Like, my sister will have it on sometimes, and he'll hear my voice coming out of speakers or something, and he freaks out. He goes running. He's like, what the hell? Where's he at? But, so what are you going to do, dude? Are you going to sit up here while I'm doing the show, or are you going to, what's it going to be? Cats. They're just like fucking women. As soon as they find out the attention's not on them and you're putting it on something else, boy, they get pissed real quick, don't they? Funny how that works. Now he's rubbing up against the microphone. I mean, just come on, man. Don't make it so obvious. This is Hank. Hear that? He's rubbing against the microphone. Come on, dude. Seriously? I'm trying to conduct a radio show here. You got food in there. You got water. Your litter box is, well, yeah, it just needs to be changed out, which I'm planning on doing. Yeah. Quit rubbing against the mic, dude. You're going to knock it off. Yeah, see, he's rubbing against the microphone because he knows what I'm talking about. Well, I'm going to try to conduct a radio show here. Yeah, sit right there. There you go. Now he's trying to wedge himself between the microphone and me. Come on, dude. So I've tried to stay away from a lot of this political theater stuff. I'm sorry, I have got distracted by the cat. Anyway, yeah, theglobalreality.com, documentary section there. If you want to order a DVD or a Blu-ray, please do so. It'll make a great holiday gift. The Blu-rays look fantastic. I mean, the DVDs look great too, but the Blu-rays just look fantastic. I can't stress that enough. They look amazing, and those are a limited amount. And yeah, they're more because they cost us more to get and produce. But man, the quality it's just amazing. I really am happy with the quality of the film and the work that I did and what went into it and how it came out. I'm really pleased with it. And I hope that you'll use it as a research tool. Again, I think a lot of people get the wrong impression about me and what I do with my films and stuff sometimes, and they think that I'm not here to give you all the answers because I don't have all the answers myself. I wouldn't claim to. Only thing I can do is provide you with what I think is some information that is being largely ignored by the research community and is just as valid as anything else that they may tell you is what you need to be concerned with and looking into and everything else. And I mean, I know it because I've seen it with my own two eyes, folks. I mean, if you expand your research and you actually go and research and write down all the names of the people I talk about in this film and go and do your own research on that, you're going to find so many more rabbit trails and so many more connections you never knew existed just off what I put in the film. And I really can't stress that enough that you all do that. I hope that you'll do that. I think you owe it not only to yourself, but I think you owe it to me. Because that's what I designed it for. And I designed it so that, it hopefully, because I always have found that some of my best research and best things that I have found have come as a result of somebody throwing me a tidbit, and that's what we need more and more of is when you throw tidbits out there to people and people go, yeah, look into this, look into that, look into this thing here, look into the CMP. And then you start actually looking into it and actually doing your own research. That's when you start to find the real hidden gems. There's, I get the biggest question I get is about Ron Paul and all this stuff. And look, man, I'm sorry if, the fact of the matter is, if you're putting any kind of hope that Ron Paul or any other politician in this system can change anything, you're leading yourself and allowing yourself to be led down a false path, and it's only going to end in heartache and misery and disappointment for you. but they're starting to bring out this stuff with Ron Paul in the media. And why it's so interesting is that they're bringing all this stuff out about his apparent racism. What's funny about that is that his supporters just think that it's, left wing, liberal, New World Order media that don't like Ron Paul because he's, against their system. That's what they think it is, and that's what they think the whole reality is. And past that, everything else is bullshit. But that's just not the case. If you look at Ron Paul and look at the people that he's been associated with through his entire career, he has been associated with the tip of the spear of white supremacist groups, white nationalist groups, the John Birch Society. And so now they're bringing all this stuff about these newsletters, the Ron Paul newsletter that he put out. And they had this big stage thing yesterday where Ron Paul stormed off CNN, and you could tell the whole thing was staged, folks. How come this didn't happen back when? How come he didn't storm off the stage when they asked him about 9/11 during those debates the last go round? Hank, you better not be knocking my shit out over there. He's knocked out my power plugs before. You better not be over there. I got to deal with this cat real quick. Hold on a second. Okay. So anyway, so he claims that he had these newsletters that he put out, and CNN had this stage thing. He walks off and storms off the stage, all pissed off and mad about it. And it had to do with this comment that Martin Luther King Day was Kill Whitey Day. Now, to me, that's kind of a milquetoast thing to say. I mean, even if I supported Ron Paul and he said that, I wouldn't think that was. I mean, he's entitled to say that. Doesn't make it right. But I mean, I don't understand why he didn't just cop to it and say whether I said or whether I didn't. It's a First Amendment issue. He's supposed to be Mr. Constitutionalist, right? Why didn't he say that? That's all he would have had to say. He didn't have to get hopping mad and run off the stage. I mean, you just look guilty when you do that kind of stuff. But see, they're not handling this in a way for him to win. They're handling this in a way that will enrage those that support him and think that he's the Messiah. All this could have been handled. He could have said, look, you know what? Whether I did say that or I didn't say that, who cares? Even if I did say it, it's my right to say it. It's the First Amendment. It should have nothing to do with what we're talking about here. But see, they're trying to use this. These affiliates. That's why he's had these affiliations for years. Don't you guys understand this yet? How do I get it across to you? I mean, I guess I just don't have as command of the English language as I need to have for this type of information. I'm sorry for that, but folks, that's why all these people are in these groups for so long. Do you understand these guys are willing for things to take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years to happen in their careers? That's why these guys are involved. So later on, they can roll that out, and then they have all this dirt and ammo on them to use in a divide and conquer scheme when they get ready to run another one of their controlled elections. But he didn't cop to it. He said he did something even worse than that. He said, no, I didn't say that. Those aren't my words. Somebody else wrote that, and I didn't approve of it, and I don't condone that, and I dismiss it, and that's it. Well, here's two questions I have, Mr. Paul. Number one, the newsletter was called, let me see if I got this right, the Ron Paul newsletter. You guys sit here and tell me that you allowed something to go out with your name on it? without approving what was inside of it, giving people the impression that what was contained within this newsletter was, somehow had some level of, expectation that you endorse this because, I don't know, your goddamn name's on the newsletter, the Ron Paul newsletter. That would imply that the contents in hereof are from the desk of Ron Paul, because it's the Ron Paul newsletter. But he said, no, I disavow it, and I didn't know anything about it. Well, okay, then that right there, to me, that's the same thing with Alex Jones. No, we got that. We didn't shoot anything at a CMP meeting. Forget the fact we had the former head of the CMP in the beginning of the same film, but no, that's a crazy idea. Same thing here. Oh, no, Well, okay, well, then that obviously makes you a fraud. You put out things. Oh, here's the second question I have. Ron Paul was actually also the editor. That's right. He was the editor of the Ron Paul newsletter. So that would mean that before this stuff went out, he had to approve it, right? That's what an editor does. But nope, that didn't happen. So they went through Ron Paul with his name on it. They went through his desk as the editor as well of this newsletter. But yet he disavows it and says he didn't have anything to do with it. Well, okay. Well, there's either only one or two options here. Either he is an idiot for being not only the editor, but also the figurehead, the namesake of a newsletter to which he was unaware what was being printed or said in it. That right there shows you he's a phony. So you mean Ron Paul was having something sent out with his name on it and his endorsement, but yet he didn't know what the contents was? That right there, to me, it speaks legions for the phony political system and its puppets that they control. That goes to show you right there that his newsletter was just complete horseshit and didn't mean anything because, hell, he didn't even see what was in it anyway, even though he was the editor and the guy who was the namesake of the newsletter itself. So that would tell me that, wow, these politicians must just be total bullshit if they just allow things to go out in their name they claim they don't know about, yet the editor and the owner of the newsletter. Now, I cover the Secret Rep Volume 2 on the part where I'm talking about Anthony J. Hilder. And Anthony J. Hilder, around the time of the Robert F. Kennedy assassination, was going and telling people about a race war that was coming. He warned his hypnotist, Gil Boyne, who he learned to hypnotize from, who some people believe was who he learned hypnotism from, and some people believe he was actually the hypnotist who hypnotized her and Sirhan to kill Robert F. Kennedy. Whether that's true or not, we don't really know, but that is a claim that's made by several authors and researchers out there. He certainly was there, admittedly. But that's been one of the big things of the John Birch Society and the whole Jesuit-controlled end of things has been talking about for years. It's a race war. And that's exactly what these guys are trying to stir up. And apparently now, Ron Paul mentioned this in one of his newsletters. I'm interested to see what he said about this. A direct mail solicitation for Ron Paul's political and investment newsletters 2 decades ago warned of a coming race war within our big cities. So 2 decades ago, that would have been the 80s or 90s. We have Hilder talking about that in the late 1960s. They're talking about it again now. They were talking about it during the Rodney King thing. See, these guys have been pushing this and trying to get this for a large amount of years. And Barack Obama and Ron Paul are their current pawns in trying to create this divide and conquer phony race war thing to get us to kill each other. That's why the Civil War was so genius for them the first time around. And we're so idiotic, we're going to allow ourselves to get into another one. It's perfect for them. They gain more control, and they get us to reduce the population by killing ourselves so they don't have to do it themselves. The 8-page letter, which appears to carry Paul's signature at the end, also warns that the U.S. government's redesign of currency to include different colors, a move aimed at thwarting counterfeiters, actually was a part of a plot to allow the government to track Americans using the new money. Well, wow, that's a lot more conspiracy theory than, I mean, wow, that, you know, that's moon battery right there. That's in the, you know, I hadn't heard that. What, government to track Americans using cash itself? Wow. You know, that's pretty tinfoil hatty for a congressman, don't you think? How come he's not saying stuff like that now? The letter urges readers to subscribe to Paul's newsletter so that he could tell you how you can save yourself and your family from an overbearing government. He didn't write these fucking newsletters. He knows damn well he didn't write them. But that exposes what a phony he is and every other politician is. These guys don't write any of their own shit. Presidents don't write their own speeches. They don't write their own newsletters. So, you know, that's the whole thing here. Not only is Ron Paul exposed in this, but every political candidate there is, the whole system is a fraud. That's what people need to understand. That's why it's important to expose Ron Paul and Alex Jones and the CMP and all this. These guys are the ones that are perpetrating this phony version of reality where they tell you that, you know, fighting for the Constitution is good because the Constitution preserves your rights. It doesn't preserve your rights. It's not for you. It's not for the serfs, the slaves, the regular people. It's for the white aristocratic landowners, and it always has been. But of course, Jones and Ron Paul, you know, they come from, you know, that good white Aryan stock. I mean, I apparently do too. I guess I can't say anything, but I'm not for the supremacy of one race over the other. I think that we can all feasibly get along here and do what we need to do and not worry about color or race and everything else. If we put the energy we put in worrying about somebody's skin color into the real problems of this world, we'd have a revolution and a new world by morning. But instead, we want to continue to involve ourselves in these divide and conquer tactics by the elite so they can pin us against each other. They want us to do their job for them. Well, let's not do that. The letters emerge at a time when Paul, now a contender for the Republican nomination for president, is under fire over reports that his newsletters contained racist, anti-homosexual, and anti-Israel rants. Reports of the newsletter's contents have Paul's campaign scrambling to deny that he wrote the inflammatory articles. Among other things, the articles called the Reverend Martin Luther King a world-class philanderer, criticized the U.S. holiday bearing the King's name as Hate Whitey Day, and said that AIDS sufferers enjoy the attention and pity that comes with being sick. As Paul made a campaign stop in Manchester, Iowa on Thursday, his Iowa chairman, Drew Ivers, repeated Paul's assertion that he did not write the articles that resurfaced this week in a report by the Weekly Standard magazine. So again, there he is. Okay, so he's admitting now he didn't write any of these. Well, again, he's a fraud. Just like Jones claimed, all my footage and all of Endgame is all my original footage. Well, except for that Phyllis Schlafly clip. We took that from the web, blah, 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 blah. No. You're a liar. Ron Paul's a liar, and you're all part of this phony system, and I'm sick of it, and you guys are going down. I hope that when you get copies of the new film, The Secret Right Volume 2, you'll make copies of this and hand it out to people, please. Especially anybody sipping on the Jones Kool-Aid. You know what would be another good thing to do? Find whatever, if you live in a bigger city or a bigger town where there are meetup groups for 9/11 truth groups or meetup groups for We Are Change groups or InfoWars groups or whatever, find those groups and go and, make some copies of the film and go pass them out and go talk to people. You might pull some Jonestown culties out of off the fear sauce. You never know. Hey, I found that article I was talking about that crashed metal orb. I put it in the chat room. A large metallic ball fell out of the sky on a remote grassland in Namibia, prompting baffled authorities to contact NASA and the European Space Agency. A hollow ball with a circumference of 1.1 meters was found near a village in the north of the country, some 750 kilometers from the capital of Windhoek, according to police forensics Dr. Paul Ludick. Locals had heard several small explosions a few days beforehand. With a diameter of 35 centimeters, 14 inches, the ball has a rough surface and appears to consist of two halves welded together. It's probably some munition or something. But yeah, who knows? Looks like one of those silver orbs you've seen flying around before. All righty, let's see where we are in the book, The Kabbalion, tonight, and let's see if we can feasibly get into any of this tonight without it going into extra innings too long. Chapter 8, The Planes of Correspondence. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a long haul. Yeah. That's really a lot longer than I'm prepared to go and do tonight, folks. I think I'm gonna save some of this. Do this on another night. Hell, I might do a show tomorrow night. We'll see what's happening. I may just do. Yeah, that's what I should do. Tell you what. I'm gonna save that. What I'll do is tomorrow night I'll do a show, and we won't have. Well, I'm not gonna say we won't have any, but unless it's really, really good, important, dirty, good info. What we'll do is we'll have a show tomorrow night. We won't have any news at all unless it's really important, super stuff. And if we have any emails or something, we'll do that. But we'll just read through that whole section, chapter 8 of the Kabbalion tomorrow night, in lieu of going into news and any of that detailed stuff. We can just do that, and that'll be the show. How about that? That sounds a lot better to me than getting into that tonight or doing half of it. I hate when I have to read half of something and pick up. I just don't like doing that. I'd rather get into a chapter. I like it's kind of impossible to do that with some of the other stuff we've done. Lost Book Inky was totally hard to do that with. Too long. But yeah, I think I'll do that. We'll go ahead and just do the show where it's just that way tomorrow. And that will have us a Friday show as well. Everybody getting ready for the weekend. Everybody getting ready to go spend time with the family or everybody out there. If not, probably be hanging by myself this year, but that's how it goes. But anyway, I hope you guys are getting ready. Hope you have a safe holiday out there. Definitely tune in tomorrow night, tomorrow morning, wherever you want to look at it. We'll get into some Kabbalion tomorrow night. Again, my new film, The Secret Hunt Volume 2, is on sale right now, and the DVDs and Blu-rays are here. You definitely want to get yourself 1 or 5 or whatever you want, and you can definitely order those right now. We'll be shipping those out over the next couple of weeks as we get orders in. We'll be shipping out, getting orders prepared right now. So I'm going to work till I can't do any more tonight. I need to kind of chill, so I'm going to kind of watch a movie too. So I think I'm going to put a movie on and address some more labels, get some of that stuff going, get some envelopes stuffed, and work on that tomorrow. Try to get some mailed out tomorrow. Try to get some mailed out on Saturday as well. Again, I can't promise you, the thing won't run. Post office won't run on Sunday, but you'll be getting those real soon. You'll definitely be receiving DVDs. I hope to have all the orders that we have up until now shipped out to everybody by next week. So I'll be working towards that. But we do need your support. We do need donations right now. It's the holiday season. I know it's real slim for everybody. But anything you can throw in our donate button. I want to kind of save the chipping banner for next week for the bills, because we got to have all the bills paid by the 28th instead of the 1st this time because of the holidays and all that stuff. So we'll do the fundraising week next week. But anything that you want to throw in, hey, if you want to send me a Christmas present, I need all I can get. I need all the love and support. And I do get plenty from our listening audience, from my friends and everybody out there. But anything that can go into what we're trying to do here, and I'm just planning more and more big stuff. I mean, we're only going up from here. It would just be a huge help. It really would. And when I do get gifts and get donations from the listening audience, it means more to me than when I get it from anybody. To be honest with you, it means more to me than anything that anybody else really gives me, gift wise, because that it just I don't know. I know it just lets me know that I got people standing with me, and I'm proud to stand with all of you, and I hope you're proud to stand with me. And we're going to continue to stand together into 2012 and beyond in this realm and any other dimension we may find ourselves in. And we're all going to continue to try and do our best to make this the best goddamn illusion we can make it, because it's all an illusion. Money's an illusion, but unfortunately we have to have it here to do the work we're here to do right now in this moment. But let's make it the best one we can, shall we? My name is Josh Reeves. I love each and every one of you. We'll see you tomorrow for the broadcast. You guys have a great night, great morning. Take care.